So looking at here, I have it queued up. So where you're talking, I was kind of bringing up the different images, even to include how the box looked, where it's at now. For those that are watching this, if you have an idea, speak up. Because if we don't know what you're doing, we can't help you. And that's honestly the God's honest truth. In service, you got no problem calling for support. You had no problem calling in for ammo. You had no problem calling in for supplies or fill in the blank. Now it's saying, hey, I'm trying to do something here. Can I talk to you for a little bit? Hey, I do this all the time. I have a business. You need to start this. And next thing you know, all that starts to fall into place. So for me, it's really such a powerful story because, it goes to show it doesn't matter age, doesn't matter how long you've been out of service. It's truly saying you had an idea and you ran with it. And there's so many people with so many great ideas, but you won't know unless you try. Like if you think about it, I'll ask you, Frank, how has it felt? Well, two, how has it felt to get the support to put the business together? And then two, how has it felt to see the monetary support via the crowdfunding side of the house to be able to fuel this idea into, the next level?
It's a lot of it is mind blowing. It's speechless at times because I'm always used to doing things alone. I'm always used to trying to figure it out on my own. And it wasn't until last year that I came across. I knew who he was, but I really didn't dig into him. It was Tony Robbins, and I found out that he was offering an opportunity to do the UPW on virtually. And he had put out this freaking comeback challenge that he did on Facebook. And I signed up for it. I was like, all right, whatever. And it was right around the time whenever the stimulus checks were coming in. And instead of going out to buy something, this, whatever else, I invested my stimulus check into Tony Robbins' UPW event. And I wasn't the whenever I was supposed to attend the first event, that's whenever I had ended up having to move out of my one house to my current house. So I had to postpone it, push it off. It was through there that I met Neil Conlon. He's a Marine. He is a, advocate of, the military and helping veterans transition, especially on the men's side. And he is a big coaching on men's to help them through, the whole masculinity thing that's going on, and phenomenal person. And I was able to sign up for his accountability group. And it started there to say, hey, get somebody to keep accountability and help you out there. And that's whenever I was like, all right, that's the push that I needed to get me motivated again. And then I started being more active in the Entrepreneur Tribe and the support that came from there. And then whenever I jumped into Clubhouse and ran into the Veterans Network, and not knowing business, not having a clue, and a little bit, not say knowing a clue, a little bit of how it works, and understanding of how to start a business from zero. And that ended up, I'm like, all right, well, I'm hearing all these people talk about masterminds. Why not try this thing on Clubhouse? So I reached out to, you and those that are running the, Veterans Network. And I'm like, can I run this room? I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And I was like, all right, you guys opened it up. And I went in there. And it was about 5 weeks ago now, 4 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, just
I
like
did
that.
the first, I did the first room, and I labeled it as Veteran Entrepreneur Mastermind on Clubhouse. And that's where Eric Ranks came in. And he was started telling me about how the Veteranpreneur has the Warrior Council. Now, this is kind of the full circle thing. I had met Stephen Kuhn October of 2019 at a conference here in San Diego, and he tried our crayons. Now, he didn't really remember me. He remembered who I was, but what made him memorable was our blue crayon turned his tongue blue, and he was running the Vegetarian Tribe. And then now I find, that he had the Warrior Council because, like I said, I wasn't active, and I'm like, I'm already in this with Neil. Need to have some more, so I joined the Warrior Council, and the support that is there. it's it makes me rethink why did I do this all these years without being in a part of the community, without having anybody. But it also makes me understand that a philosophy that I've tried to live by a lot of the things is no matter what it is, no matter where you're at, everything happens for a reason. And to have this and people being able to know who we are and know about this just by dropping into a clubhouse room and or posting on the groups is amazing. And another thing that goes full circle is in this whole mix of this through LinkedIn, I received a message the other day from somebody that remembered me from 25 years ago that learned about the crayons and reached out to me, and we're going to be connecting here soon. He was my bunkmate in boot camp.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, and it's like, holy shnikes. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, my mind is blown, and I'm talking about these ideas, and I'm like, I want to start a coloring book. I don't know how to publish a coloring book. I don't know how to do that. So what do? I put it out there. I'm looking for artists. I want to start a coloring book. I found another Marine veteran that also is currently going through the Bunker Labs Veteran Residence Program in Florida.
Mm.
He's helping me put together a coloring book. And guess what? As of now, we have started another company that we're going to start doing publishing coloring books, adult military themed coloring books. And we're going to also put it out there to where we can brand your business through a coloring book. So I got another business that is now starting up in a short time period. And being able to have those rooms on Clubhouse to where we're going in and just asking people, what do they do? Or how do you support the military? What is your idea? What is your business that you're doing? What's your successes? And what do you need help with? Has helped me because now we're able to share our information and our knowledge, and a lot of knowledge that I had no clue that I even had in this head of how to connect people. I have learned that I can connect people with anybody and everything. And it was twofold where the Marine Rapper had met these guys that were trying to start a nonprofit doing outdoor camping for veterans and doing photography. I was referred by the Marine Rapper to, hey, this guy started a business. He's kind of he knows what it's like to start from the scratch. Let me connect you. And I was able to talk to them and help them establish their business and get them connected with Eric and various other people because they want to do nonprofit. And it's just being able to now see that what's been given to me by the connections and the support that I was able to give that back. It is so heartwarming.
Right? We have to learn skills one with the other. So being able to connect the Vetpreneur tribe on Facebook, if you're not a part of it, reach out to us, join it, look us up, and join because it's an amazing group of veteran entrepreneurs. Those that are actively doing it, those that want to do it, or those who want to support it. That's our place for that. And our Warrior Council, which is our select group that we have of those that are stepping above and beyond, leading the tribe, and our Veterans Network here where you're watching this information. So the synergy of all good things that are happening, it's just the beginning, but it's us banding together as veterans to create new things, have conversations, and hopefully this story begins to motivate you all watching this. If you have an idea or you're figuring yourself, hey, should I not? The big takeaway is reach out, lock arms with one of us, and really just start the process of doing. Because you'd be surprised how far you can get if you have the ability to just get some support, which is definitely out there.
Yeah, and it's like the whole thing. I would have never had an opportunity to be in the world of chocolate if I didn't reach out to Cassandra. She's the brains behind this. She figured it out. She is phenomenal at what's cook baking stuff and making things. And if it wasn't for her to me to reach out to her and say, hey, can you do this or do you know anything about this? And she said if she can, she'll try. I wouldn't be where I'm at,
Yeah.
because I asked her, and she's 20 and right now. She's 24. She just got married, and for me to be able to, I'm 44. For me to be able to help her in her young life to give her an opportunity to understand business and do things like that will, hopefully get her to where she can take her pastry, love of pastries and turn it into something, further more than what we are doing with the crayons ready to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other aspect of this is because I asked and she said yes.
Mm.
And this would not be if I didn't, because other than that, I knew nobody else in the world of, pastries or chocolate that it would have probably taken me longer
Yes.
if I didn't. So,
No, that's powerful. And again, I think that's to me the biggest message of this. Literally, as we start to wrap up here, I always want to have the guests. If you could tell yourself, Frank, or rather tell someone else out there, well, I'll have you kind of think of the question answer here. But the question in closing for you, I would ask is for those out there that may be listening or watching this who may think my idea, it's pretty silly, right? Crayons, right? I'm gonna make chocolate crayons. Someone's gonna eat it. That's a pretty dumb idea, right? Ha ha. Jokes on us, right? But may just completely just renege and say there's just no way I can do this. What advice would you have for them? But I really want to just say to everybody else that again, this is the first conversation of many. Literally, we can come back. We're going to come back. We'll talk specifically about CREs and kind of some of the logistics and things that are happening there for those that are interested in that conversation, as well as the coloring book and other endeavors. So there's definitely more conversation to come. But I really wanted to just set the stage, just to introduce the world on our side of the house to CREs, what Frank is doing with his amazing team. But Frank, what would be your words of encouragement or advice to someone out there who's listening to this, who's just may have an idea or may say, I can never do this, I can never be an entrepreneur?
well, it's simple. And I'm going to give you the kind of medium sized answer. I wouldn't have had this idea come to fruition. I wouldn't have these t shirts made if I didn't do one thing. I wouldn't have had the support, the connections from the Marine Rapper. I wouldn't have had the opportunities to get our logo created and have a phenomenal artist by the name of Ben Cantwell draw up and gave him free reign. I just told him that, hey, we wanted this. This is the idea. You do you. You draw it. You make it happen. I wouldn't have um, being where we are with an LLC if I wouldn't have opened my mouth and said two things. I have an idea and ask questions. The only stupid question is the question not asked. The only wrong decision is this decision was not making a decision. So that's two things. So you have to make a decision. If you don't make one, you're never going to find out if it can't be done. If you don't ask the question, you're never going to get the answer if it's possible or how you can find this or how you can get these things connected.
No,
Hopefully that answers that
no,
one.
and that's powerful because again, it just really makes it brings it home, and it's a tactical piece. It's not this whole fluffy thing that sometimes you might want to say to just sound motivational, but it's tactical, practical advice. And at the end of the day, I'll go so far as to say that there really is no difference between this guy, right, and this Marine because we are just veterans at the end of the day. There's nothing inherently special about us, but we took chances, right? I said to myself, I want to create a platform, I want to have conversation, I want to highlight, I want to serve. Frank had an idea, he wants to serve, he wants to do something, and that's really all it is. An idea that becomes action, just doing something, taking that step, and things will start to fall into place. So Frank, like I said, obviously we're always in conversation, brother. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you, spending some time here, sharing your story of how we have CREs on the way. For those that are out there, crayonsreadytoeat.com is where you want to go. Support the cause because I'm telling you, amazing things are on the way. Before I leave, I would be remiss to say or not plug that the Crayons Ready to Eat certified stickers are on the shop. So if you go to crayonsreadytoeat.com on the shop section, you'll see here you can go ahead and get you some of that sticker as well, which I think just went live a few days ago, correct?
Yep. Yes.
So,
And then if they
yeah.
go under the apparel section, they can under shop. There's a drop down menu under apparel. They can find where they can get our T-shirts, and we have those in men and women style T-shirts. So we've covered
Nice.
everybody.
Yep. And you have the exact. This is awesome. And you have here the different logo, the different sizes, and then of course we have, you know, the the down true logo here, obviously, of the Marine going to
Lance
town
Corporal
on these.
Crunch.
Lance Corporal Crunch going to town on the CREs. Frank, I appreciate you, my brother. More to follow. Not the first conversation, not the last conversation for sure. But I appreciate you, my
Yes.
man, and I just look forward to seeing more success for CREs.
Thank you, and I appreciate your time and the opportunity to be here and dig in a little bit deeper into into things.
Definitely, my brother. I appreciate you. For those watching, we'll be back. More to follow.